Hello, friends who are here live, and for those of you watching the replay, hello, happy Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let's get everything situated, all of the computer, everything. I'm a little bit off center, but it is what it is. It's the best we're gonna get. Let's start with, what are you drinking? I am having just water today. I'm really behind on my water. I talked about this in a vlog that I try to make the rule if I'm going to enjoy an adult beverage in the evening to do 4 of my 5 glasses before I have that adult beverage. And this is number 4. I just filled it up. So that's where we're at today. It's not quite as fun, but it is what it is. All right, let's see what everyone's. Jen, raspberry lemonade. I just saw your Instagram post right before I went live. I saw your lemonade with Laken. That's so fun. You guys know I love a good alliteration. More water, iced tea. It looks like everyone's keeping it simple today. Colton wants to know where you are, Caden. He's standing right on the other side of the camera. He was being my cameraman. He was helping me set everything up. So much easier to set up a live on a phone when you have a little brother to be like, you're not centered, or scoot closer. It's really funny. Christy, I love that you're doing the treadmill while you're watching this. Such a good use of time. Such a good use of time. We have a treadmill here too, and I try, if I have a meeting that I don't have to talk to go in there and just walk on the treadmill while I'm on the call. I haven't had a lot of those recently, but I do try to do that. Oh, it looks like everybody is on kind of a water, iced tea, lemonade, Coke. Hard seltzer. There we go, Natalie. Yeah, someone's having fun tonight. White Claw, Jessica. Okay. I was like, it feels like nobody is enjoying their Tuesday evening. I think after a holiday weekend, if you're like me, you probably also feel like you need a little bit of a reset. Like I need some water and maybe a little bit less wine, or sangria. That was my holiday weekend drink of choice. Okay. Let me know down in the comments. What are your questions? What questions do you have? I am excited. Tanya, you'll crack a beer just for good measure. Okay, I appreciate that. Someone's got to have a little bit of fun. Oh, margarita. I'm a little jealous. We're having tacos for dinner, and so a margarita sounds really good, but it's also a Tuesday. And I go long. How are morning pages coming? They're okay. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. My hand hurts really quickly after I start them. For those of you who haven't watched the goals video or don't know what I'm talking about, morning pages is a concept to work on your creativity where you hand write 3 pages in a journal, just stream of consciousness, just whatever's in your brain, the first thing in the morning, just to get it all out. And I have been struggling to figure out what to write, and I also my hand hurts and my handwriting's a mess, but it's fine. I've done it 3 of what day is that? 7 so far, so it's coming. Jessica, have you watched Hamilton, and how did it compare to Broadway? I have watched Hamilton, like twice basically total, because I was the only one that stayed up Friday night to watch the end. And then I rewatched the first half by myself on Saturday, and then I watched the second half with the people that didn't stay up on Saturday as well. I loved it. It's different than it being live, because just the atmosphere that you're in. I think if we'd been able to see it in theaters, that would have been a different experience than watching it at home. But I also sometimes prefer it to watching it live, because 2 things. One, the subtitles, being able to read what's going on is really helpful. And then the outside shots, there were a lot more that I could see. We sat in the orchestra when we saw it, so we were really close up, and so being able to see it from far away was really nice as well. I loved it. How is it trying to adjust your morning routine being in another new location? It is what it is. I think I will say it was easier transitioning from the coast to this house for my morning routine than it was going from New York to the coast. I think part of that was Central Time. I think part of that was going downstairs and where my phone was going to be. And here, it really was not hard. I figured it out pretty quickly. I figured out that I have to sit at a table when I do my morning routine. Otherwise, I am very likely to fall back asleep. How are your dad and brother doing that are quarantined? Thank you for asking, Robin. They're good. No symptoms. Unfortunately, it is a lot harder to get a test here than I think anybody thought it would be. you have to have either had direct contact and or had symptoms. And so they haven't had either. So Elizabeth, I don't think we have any plans to come back to New York sooner because we're doing the same thing here. Like, we're still like isolating, the same thing we would be doing at home, with the exception of our immediate family. But we're still isolating here, which is what we would do in New York. And so at least here we have a lot more space. So nope, I don't think we're planning to come home any sooner, just because it's worse down here. Because it doesn't really impact our day to day. I mean, it does. I think it's better down here than it is in New York. So I think we're going to stick with our same around Labor Day timeline. Sean, I was waiting on this to pour my wine. Well, I'm glad that you joined us. There, Colton's in the chat. He's doing good. He's doing more than good. Okay, they have caught a ton of fish. A ton. Like, they're doing great. They're doing great down there. How have I found planner piece? I tried horizontal and I'm not loving it. I ordered an hourly. Okay, first off, Samantha, do not feel weird for not knowing what you like. It takes so much time to figure out what planners work for you. And you're doing the right thing. It's just trying and figuring out what works best for you. And I think what I've said before, my other little brother, the other twin, has decided to sneak peek up in here. The other thing that I've said in the past about planner piece is that I do think it exists, but it exists for a season of time in your life. Like, it's temporary for that season, and so don't feel bad if you have to switch it. Are you trying to get in your room? Are you trying to be in the live? What are you trying to do here?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Well, I'll just let you be then. I think that writing 3 is a lot to start with. Could you start by journaling without a set amount in time, just to get the habit? I could. I think that's a really great suggestion. I truthfully have only been doing 2 pages because I've also been doing a larger notebook, the 7x9 notebook. So that, I mean, I am not doing 3. Do you and Sam have your own space where you are now? Well, we kicked a brother out of his room to get our own space, if that's what you mean by our own space. We do have our own room and our own bathroom here. But we had to kick a boy out to get it. How does meal planning look now that with your family? That's a great question, Jessica. So last week we had already gotten our HelloFresh delivered, so we kind of just separated. Like, we cooked the HelloFresh for Sam and I, and they made their own thing. This week we kind of just joined forces, and we were like, okay, what do you have, and what do we kind of still have leftovers of? And then I placed a grocery order to kind of fill it in. So we had kind of the same things, but we just like combined together and are just kind of cooking together. So last night, they already had a pork loin that they could take out of the freezer, and potatoes and corn. And so I ordered pork for Sam and I, and then we kind of worked together to cook that meal. So my stepmom did the pork, I did the mashed potatoes, and my little brother did the corn on the grill. So we kind of tag teamed all the different components, and then we ate dinner together, which was nice. Okay, I lost my spot. Thank you for the super chat, Jen. That's very sweet. Have any of your other family members had any signs of COVID? No symptoms in my family. Oh, wow, Pearl. That is a huge fine if you break lockdown orders. I mean, but the numbers in your country, like, they're looking pretty good, so. How many siblings do I have? Alicia, I will link the video below where I go through my entire family tree, if you want to watch the whole who married who and how I ended up with how many siblings. But the short version is that I have 8 siblings, 7 brothers, and 1 sister. 5 are half from 2 different sides, and then 3 are step. But it is all kinds of marriages and remarriages and Brady Bunch up in my house, and I'm the oldest of all of them. So my oldest brother is about to turn 23, and then the twins that are 11, those are my youngest siblings. You as a big sister is my favorite. I appreciate that, Jessica. I mean, I do love being a big sister. Like, I mean, it's been, like I said, so I was 6 when my first brother was born, and then I was 17 when these goons were born. You guys are laughing at my brother. I'm looking at all the laughing faces. What's it like living with a ninja as a brother? He's not as sneaky as he thinks he is. Let's just put it that way. Do you think that you'll use Moxie for 2021? I just got mine yesterday and I'm liking it. You know, I think probably, truthfully, the things about the Moxie that I don't love, well, really, there's one big thing, and that's the coil. I don't love the coil, but given my current planner system, my weekly doesn't go anywhere. Now that I have a daily planner that I love, that is my, like, if in 2021 I'm going back to work, right? But given this current situation, my daily planner leaves the house. And so if my weekly is still sitting at home, then like, is the coil that big of a deal? So unless she drastically changes something, I think, yes, probably. And I just really, really adore Sierra, the creator of the Moxie Life. All of you are laughing at my brother. Oh, he's just such a silly goose. My teacher self-appreciates your ignoring tactics. I mean, Robin, it's just, it is what it is. Like, it's just funny. How does filming look with the family around? So, great question, Jessica. I am very, very thankful that I had already done the Friday videos before they got there that Friday. Like if you remember that vlog, like I had done the Plan With Me and two videos last Fridays and this Fridays. I did those on between Thursday night and Friday during lunch before my family got there Friday afternoon, whatever, a week and a half ago. So that's really thankful. So the only video that I've had to film besides the lives, which you see what happens, I just come upstairs and sometimes there's background characters and noise and it's fine. And then the only other one I had to do was the Plan With Me that I filmed yesterday during lunch. That'll go up tomorrow. And I just did it during lunch because I don't remember. Oh, my stepmom was running an errand for something and the boys were playing outside. And so I was like, I'm just going to take this moment to film, and while everybody's being quiet during lunch, it was just the best time that worked. Sean, are you reading anything right now? I am. I'm reading So You Want to Talk About Race. That one I'm trying to take my time and really soak in and highlight and research and read and like take it all in and not speed through it. And I'm also still reading Joyful, which I started when I first got down to Texas. So those are kind of my 2 morning books. And then I am still reading Harry Potter in the evenings. Have I taken up any new habits or hobbies during my quarantine time? Kaden, I see your face in the background. Like I'm delayed, but I see your silly face. Natalie, I don't think I've taken any new habits up. I think I've been spending more time on hobbies. I've definitely spent more time reading during quarantine than I had before. So I've just been spending more time on that. And then since we've been here, it's been hanging out with my family. So also not a new hobby, but more time on a current hobby. Is it possible to get the Moxie recoiled at Office Depot? Katie, I don't know because it's punched that way. So, and I don't know that there's space to trim it and repunch it without getting into the actual planner itself. I'll look at it when I get off, but I don't think so. I don't think so. When do you watch podcasts? So I'll listen to podcasts when I'm getting ready, which isn't as often now. It was much more frequent when I was getting ready to go somewhere. So I'll do it when I'm getting ready or when I'm cleaning. I'll listen to podcasts. When I'm walking, I'll listen to podcasts. I am very behind because I don't do all of those things for as long as I used to. But those are the times. How's the training going with my summer intern? It's hard. It's definitely hard to manage an intern virtually. When I got asked to manage an intern in February, I was so pumped and I had no idea that this is where we were going to be. So it's definitely hard to, build that relationship with her and teach her things when we are all virtual. And it also doesn't help that I have a super busy week at work, so I'm just kind of inviting her to meetings to listen and to learn and then answering her questions afterwards, and there's just a lot going on right now. I wish they shortened it. I know why they shortened it, but I kind of wish for my timeline and what's going on at work, it would have been really helpful for her to have started a few weeks ago to actually be a lot more up to speed. But it's fine. I hope that she's getting value out of it. The Daily Stoic is a book written by Ryan Holiday, and it has a page per day. It's not even a full page. It's usually a half of a page. And it's got a quote from the historical Stoics, so the men, mostly all men, of history that studied and documented about Stoicism, which is a philosophy. And so there's a quote from a historical Stoic, and then Ryan Holiday gives his commentary and relates it back to the real world. So you basically read a page a day. I had somebody actually ask me this recently if they should wait until next year to start it, and I said, no way, Jose. And he even has a whole intro, and he says if you pick it up in the middle of the year, that's fine. Don't start on January 1st. They have dates, literal dates. You go to the date that you're starting on, it has a little ribbon, and you just start there, and then you'll loop your way back around. And I'm just going to keep rereading it because gosh knows I don't remember what I read on January 1st, you know. I love it. How do you plan with your daily and your weekly? I find that my weekly is empty because I only put to-dos in my daily. I hear you, Caitlin. So I don't put to-dos in my weekly. That's just where it is. My weekly is for mapping out my time. Is really all it's for, is to visually see where my time is going, and then it's a reference point when I set up my daily. So when I set up my daily, I look at my weekly and I see like, okay, here's what I planned, and I copy the structure into the daily, and then I add the additional to-dos and the additional habits. The weekly is also my creative outlet. I mean, I get to play with stickers and washi, and it's also my creative outlet. I have a whole video on my whole planning system, so how I use my Google Doc, my weekly and my daily and my power sheets. I'll link that below afterwards. That I think helps explain that process. Our work is going to a model where we work from home 4 to 5 days when we go back. Have you and Sam thought about what work life will be if remote work becomes long term? No. That's the honest answer. I also wouldn't be surprised if we go back to some combo model of in the office some days and out of the office. I mean, I think we would have to if that is long term, we'd have to seriously consider moving. But the truth is, our lease isn't up until March 31st. So we are where we're at till March 31st. I mean, we're gonna have to cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm trying not to think that far. Like right now, I'm thinking until Labor Day, and that's where I'm at. I don't know what work situation is. I know that we'll likely be back in New York, and that's as far as I've gotten so far. Does your family support your content creating career, or do they find it weird? Yes, to both of those, Jen. They definitely find it weird, but they also completely support it. I think it helped that I had a pretty significant Instagram following before I transitioned into YouTube, so they got used to that first, and then I was like, oh, and now I'm doing YouTube, and they're like, oh, okay. So I think they're pretty much just used to it at this point, but they do find it weird, but they support it as well. Do you find yourself going outside as much as you wanted to? No, and part of it is because the mosquitoes here are awful, and it's hotter here, okay? We're further north, but it is way hotter here than it is at the coast. I know it's a water thing. So no, I don't find myself getting outside as much here as I did at the coast, which is a huge bummer. But then the next question that Katie asked is, are we going back this weekend? Yes, we are going back to the coast, which I'm very excited about. We don't mind Caden. He's not making noise or otherwise disrupting you. You're helping train 2 new employees right now, and it's really hard. Yeah, Elizabeth, I think if I was training her like for permanent work, I would be even more overwhelmed. At least with the intern, it's like it is still a summer internship, so it's like if it's not perfect, it's temporary, right? Yeah, Lisa, no, I worked out during lunch, and then I was going to shower between work and this, and then work was busy and ran over, and I just didn't have time. I probably could have squeezed it in, but I didn't want to deal with it, so I just stayed in my workout clothes. But I actually worked out already during lunch with my brother. We did a Peloton total strength training class. It was a lot more cardio than it was strength, but the music was great. We have done the drive-through testing location at our fairgrounds. Yeah, they're struggling. Daily Stove does have the February 29th. Yes, it does. Debbie, thank you so much for all of your support watching to raise that money. I talked about the 4 charities pretty extensively in last week's vlog, so I'm not going to take up the time here on the live. I feel like I did a pretty good job summarizing them on the vlog. So if you have any specific questions about them, I'll do my best based on my research. But I felt like that was a pretty good overview. Oh, thanks, Robin. It's makeup and the sun, the lighting. Linda, no, we have not started the registry yet. It has been on my list for so long. And we've talked about it, like, especially being in two kitchens that have a lot more stuff than our kitchens. We'll be like, oh, we need that. Oh, we need that. Oh, I really like this. Like, they have colanders with handles. Oh, like, I want those. Like, we've talked about things that we want to put on our registry, but I haven't actually set it up yet. All I want to do is go wild. I know, Pearl. I hope they open it up for you by next June. It feels like it's so far away, but yeah. How did I learn how to film YouTube videos? So I actually have a video that's like my top 10 tips on getting started on YouTube. And so that's a really great place to start. Truthfully, I just started, and I started with my phone. I'm on my phone now because that's how you do a live with the internet. I don't know if my camera hooks up to the internet, but I use my phone because it's a pretty good camera. But I just started with my phone. That was how I got started, and I just learned as I went, like editing and all that stuff. Like I just learned as I was doing it. Should probably get used to that if you want kids. Brittany, I'm not sure what I need to get used to, but yeah, whatever it is. I do feel like I'm in a pretty Kaden being sneaky, probably, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I do feel like I'm pretty like used, like after 8 younger siblings, like I laugh when Sam has never changed a diaper, and I've changed a lot of diapers. My work is talking about not going back until next year and then doing half days. I don't want to do half days. I'm still, like, for me, like I'm still getting on the subway and going into work. Like I would rather do like 2 to 3 days on and 2 to 3 days off, or like a week on, a week off. I would really rather do multiple days during the week if they give me the option, which they won't. They're just gonna make a blanket statement, right? So I would prefer like 2 to 3 days on, 2 to 3 days off, versus like a half day. No, there are not multiple Pelotons. There's one Peloton. We just did like a strength training on the TV, like through the app. We mirrored my phone to the TV. There's just one Peloton, but my shoes don't clip into the Peloton, so it doesn't matter. I don't even get to use the Peloton. If you could start your YouTube channel over, would you do anything differently? So as I'm telling you to film on your phone, I probably would have bought a camera earlier, because the ease of filming with my camera and getting the footage from my camera to my phone or to my computer is so much better than it being on my phone. So getting a camera made my life significantly easier than doing everything on my phone. So I probably would have done that earlier. But in terms of like content or anything, I don't think so. Like I go back and look at some of those old videos and cringe a little bit, but it's, nothing significant. If you and Sam have to work from home past Labor Day, would you consider staying at your family's summer house longer? Probably not, to be honest. I think at that point we'll need a change of scenery again. And also, I just want to get back to Charlie. She's been with a friend, and, we FaceTime and I see pictures, but I want to get back to her. So we probably will still go back to New York around Labor Day. So the camera that I use is the Canon G7X. I have it linked in my Amazon link that's always in my video description box. I have a category in my Amazon shop called filming equipment. So everything, my camera, my stand, my lights, everything I use for filming is in my Amazon, linked in my Amazon shop. I bought it all on Amazon. Yeah, no, I did. How are you all liking Once Upon a Time? So we kind of took a break because we were just watching movies with everybody else. Really, it's just me and Kaden. That I was thinking about it the other day. Nobody else is as into it as we are. Like my stepmom will go to bed. My other twin brother he's not really all that excited about it. Sam watched it when it was on, so he'll watch in and out, but he also isn't like dying to sit down and watch it. So it's really just me and Kaden. We did watch a couple more episodes each day over the weekend. I forgot a lot. Like I knew the general premise, but there's a lot that I forgot. So it's good. Pearl, I'm in San Antonio right now. I talked about it in the vlog that went up yesterday. It's just temporary. Is there a bigger camera, a beginner camera you would recommend that isn't expensive? Jen, I don't know the answer to that. I'm not the camera expert. I don't know. Sorry. You can probably, there's probably experts. In that video where I talk about my YouTube tips, I reference a bunch of channels that I watch to help me on YouTube, and you can, if one of them probably has the answer to that question. Amberly, they actually weren't able to get tested. They were struggling down at the coast to find a place that wouldn't test them since they didn't have direct contact or symptoms. So that's unfortunate. Did you get any support from HR with the intern? Amy, I did in terms of like technology and like general onboarding, getting her email set up and all that stuff. But in terms of like training my department and knowledge about the products that we develop and like specifics for my work and her work, that is all on me, because our company is just so big that there was not really a way for HR to do that. There's 100 interns at New York Life corporate, which is crazy. Christy, is there anything you didn't bring to Texas that you wish you really had? Besides Charlie, that's a great question. I feel like there was one thing that I thought of that I was like, man, I wish I brought that. But I can't remember what it was. Nothing's jumping out at me. So the answer probably is no. Besides the couple things I forgot. I talked about that in the first vlog I did down there. But there hasn't been anything else that I'm like, oh, I wish I brought that. No, I can't think of anything. Does Sam goal plan like you do? No, he doesn't. Since you have Apple and Windows, it probably didn't help. Jessica, you're probably right. I have a Microsoft computer and an Apple iPhone, so that was probably part of the problem, but it was just, and then I would run out of space on my iPhone. Like, it was just kind of a mess. If I filmed in 4K, which I was like, if I'm gonna film on my phone, I might as well do it in 4K, but that was kind of the problem. Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. Thank you, Pearl. I will add that to my list. I'd like to get through Harry Potter before we leave while I'm reading the physical books, and then I ordered 2 fiction books written by Black authors when Target was having a sale, and so I also have those with me. So I think I'm pretty set on fiction for a little while, but I will add that to my list. I discovered Alyssa Nalani for Cultivate What Matters and goal setting tips. Oh, I've never heard of her, but I'm always down. Is there anyone you would recommend to watch or follow for Cultivate What Matters and goal setting? So the only other person I watch that talks about her Cultivate What Matters power sheets is Diva and the Divine. She's the only other person that I feel like that does like consistent videos on the actual power sheets that I have found. I'm sure that there are others, but I haven't found anybody else. Otherwise, I just mostly get inspiration from the Facebook group is kind of my go-to for that. Do I miss the coast? Yes, Amberly, I miss it very much. 4 days, and then we're going back. Think Media on YouTube. Yes, Joanna, that's a great recommendation. Oh, I lost my spot. The Spellbreaker series. Ooh, I'm gonna have to like go back and find the comments again with the books. We have 72 interns. Yeah, I just have one that I'm in charge of, which thank gosh. She asked me that the first day. She was like, am I your only intern? Because you've just spent, I was 2 hours that first morning on the phone with her. And I was like, yes, you are. Sarah, I talked about Hamilton at the beginning. I loved it. Even though I did see it on Broadway, I also love the Disney one and have watched it multiple times and will continue to watch it multiple times. Okay, looking for questions. I love all of your support with each other with YouTube stuff. That's really great. Since you have an iPad, now check out the app Day One for journaling. Okay, I will, Sarah. Thank you for the recommendations. Yeah, Christy, we said the same thing about Charlie going to summer camp. She's at camp. She's having a lot of fun at camp. Her friend that she's staying with has a loft bed. She's a big fan. My Write the Word journal, I haven't even started it. I am planning to. That's one of my goals for this month, is to do it weekly, and I haven't touched it yet. But I want to, and I plan to this week. It's in my schedule. Am I able to take of the river walk, or is it too crowded? I'm not going out to the river walk right now. I don't know how crowded it is right now, but I'm not heading down there anytime soon. Amberly, I talked about morning pages at the beginning too. So if you rewatch from the beginning, I know you joined in a little bit late, but if you rewatch, I talked about it at the beginning. Oh yes, Cindy. Last year Cindy did a monthly video with her power sheets. So she doesn't do them right now, but if you want to go back and watch last year's, Cindy also did monthly videos. I think I just again forgot because she hasn't been doing them recently, but she did them all last year, and I watched all of those too. Yes, thank you. Which iPad do you have? Katie, I don't know. I bought a very old used one. It's not new. It's the old pencil, like the generation 1 pencil, but it does what I need it to do. So it works for me. My family is good. Thank you for asking. Everybody is healthy. We've been doing temperature checks every day. Everybody gets their temperature checked every day, and we're all good. So everybody is good. I'm all caught up on the questions. Awesome. Oh, I'm going to try to take a drink of water. I just spilled it on myself. I swear it's just water. Okay. Any other questions? I'm happy to hang out. I like this time, I think. You guys, I like the evening time. I think it is, I'm more relaxed because I'm not like, oh, I got to get back to work and all the things. So I think I like the evening time, but my favorite TV show of all time. Probably Gilmore Girls. But Friends is a really close second. What made you decide to start a YouTube channel? That's a great question, Madison, and I think I answered this at one point in a Q&A. I don't know which one, so I can't link it for you, so I will just tell you. I'd been wanting to start one for a very long time, like just being on Instagram. I was always like, I wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I wasn't really sure what else I would talk about besides like a plan with me. I didn't know what else I would do, so that was part of the struggle. And it happened to do when Sam switched jobs and we moved in together, and those two things, and he was working a lot more. And so I found myself with all this like extra time that he wasn't around, and I was like, well, now's the time. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And so that's kind of what sparked it. And here we are 2 years later. Have I read Lauren Graham's book? I have, Amberly. That was one of the ones I read earlier this year. I rented it from the library. Actually, I still have it at the house. It's one of the library books that I had when everything shut down, including the library. If I could travel anywhere in the world right now, virus aside, where would you go? Oh, well, the number one place that I want to go to right now is Greece in general, but if I could travel anywhere, I guess Greece. I also, I wish we could have gone to go wild. That's where I would want to go. That very specifically. I also would want to go to Austin and do all of my wedding planning stuff without feeling nervous about it. That would be ideal. Yeah, I can't imagine those of you living alone, Jen. That's got to be very tough. Super, super tough. Yeah, I like the evening time too. Okay, sounds like I might just still call it lattes with Laken though, to be honest, because I just like the alliteration. I don't know. I don't like the word libations. Have I had any glitches since working from home? Donna, my work laptop won't hold a battery to save its life. It always has to be plugged in, which is unfortunate. So if I want to try and go work somewhere else, even for 30 minutes, it doesn't survive that. So I have to be near an outlet at all times. But I haven't had any other glitches besides that issue. New viewer here, and I love your positivity. Thank you, Michelle. I'm not sure if this has been mentioned, but The Miracle Morning is a great book. You know what's funny about that, Michelle? I've never actually read the book. I've heard a lot of things about it, but I have met Hal Elrod, who is the author of The Miracle Morning, because he used to work for Cutco Knives, and I used to work for Cutco Knives. And so I met Hal a number of times at Cutco conferences. Yes, conferences for people that sold knives. And so I've met him a bunch of times, but I have never read the book. I've listened to like summaries on the book from different podcasts. I think did Buy the Book do Miracle Morning? Because I love the Buy the Book podcast, but I don't think they liked it. Do you miss any restaurants? You know what, Sean? I don't know if you're talking about New York or just restaurants in general. I haven't been to a restaurant in a very long time, and we haven't been ordering out here because I just don't know if I trust the restaurants down here with everything that's happened and just everything being open for much longer. So I do miss restaurants. I miss going to restaurants and being served. And the food, I'm sick of cooking, and food is great. I also really want someone else to make me a cocktail. Like, I'm sick of drinking my own things at home. I know that's so silly. My favorite vacation thus far, Amberly, was probably Argentina, and specifically Mendoza, Argentina, which is like the Napa of Argentina. And I like wine, and it was great. It was like Napa meets the mountains. Well, I mean, Napa has mountains too, but Argentina's mountains were bigger, and it was all very inexpensive. It was really great. Yes, I had been copying my monthly Power Sheets goals into the Moxie Life. I have not been doing that. And the biggest reason I think is because I started setting my Moxie Life in this little like tray on my desk. And so taking it down and flipping to those other pages just never happened. I just always had it on the weekly layout, and that's where it stood. So I haven't been copying them over into my Moxie Life. I can't decide if that is a good use of things, because copying things over is good, remembering things, and one of the biggest reasons people forget one of the biggest reasons people don't accomplish their goals is because they forget about their goals. So would taking the time to recopy my goals into those spaces in the Moxie Life help me? Probably, but I haven't done it in a very long time. Honeymoon plans. We have not decided. We're trying to figure out a balance between adventure and the beach, because I at least need a couple days of doing nothing once the wedding is over. We also aren't going to honeymoon right after the wedding because of Sam's work. So we're not going to go until the summer. So we're still trying to figure that out. Honestly, we haven't figured it out. You could call it Live with Laken. Yeah, Sarah, I've considered that too. Although I like the logo for Lattes with Laken, but I could switch it. Okay, I lost. What planner do you use at work? So right now I'm using the Daily Duo for work because that's what I brought with me to Texas. No, Celeste, I was just thinking about changing the name because we're moving it to an evening time, and Lattes with Laken made way more sense when it was in earlier in the day, and now at 5 p.m. like Lattes with Laken doesn't make as much sense, so I was considering changing the name, but it's not that big of a deal. Oh yeah, the Malbec was amazing down there. Sean, I think what was the best down there though, so I love Cab, I love a Napa, California Cab. The Cab Malbec blends down there were fantastic, and they don't export a lot of those because all the rest of the world asks for from Argentina is Malbec, so that's all they want them to export. So we got to try some like California or some Cabernet Malbec blends that were fantastic because they had like the spiciness and the flavor punch of a Malbec, but they had the like heaviness of a Cab that I love, because some Malbecs are just too light for me, and it was the best. It was. I still have a bottle that I brought back with me that I haven't opened. Like, it's just sitting in my apartment. What did you do to celebrate your birthday in quarantine? So I just did like a happy hour Zoom call with all of my friends, and then Sam made my favorite dinner, and then we watched The Parent Trap. That's what I did for my birthday. It was very nice. Nina's doing good. Thank you for asking. She is studying for her boards diligently. Check for loss of taste and smell is a good check for COVID symptoms. Thank you. I'm good there. What are your thoughts on Syrah Shiraz? It's same thing with the Malbec. I love the flavors, but sometimes it's just too light for me. So I have to find one that's bold, which typically means it's been blended in with like a Cab Sauv or Cab Franc in there with it. I usually can't do a 100%. I need more body to my wine, but I do like the flavor. Sam really likes it, that type of wine. No, not the original Parent Trap, Donna, the newer one with Lindsay Lohan, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. We are rounding 40 minutes. So I'm going to end it with a story. The Parent Trap, the one with Lindsay Lohan, I was like 7 maybe, I don't know. And I took the VHS case of that movie to the hair salon and told her that I wanted my hair cut just like that, just like the girl on the cover. So I got my hair cut, like, you know, just to my shoulders with the piece right here. Like, I wanted to be just like them. It was really funny. Happy hour with Laken. Yeah, Debbie, that's a good idea. I like alliterations, though. That's what I like. Live and lattes, libations, that kind of things. Okay, Sarah, last question. Any tips on getting alone time while quarantining? For me, taking a bath has been a big alone time. When we were at the coast, it was going out on the deck and reading by myself on the deck while Sam was inside. And then going for walks. That's the other way I've been getting alone time. Yesterday I took Gunner for a walk, which was so nice because I wasn't as focused on my phone, like I wasn't checking social media because I was so focused on Gunner and making sure he didn't like chase the deer or get with the other dogs. So it was kind of helpful to have him with me. But, okay. That is going to be it. I'm going to ask you my last question for you, which is what is one thing that you are doing this week to make progress on your goals? Let me know down in the comments what's one thing that you can do. Shiraz is also much better if it's been aged. That's a good point, Christy. Yeah, running a bath for alone time. So good. Ready for routine. Oh, is that the Shantae Grant class? Is it good? I've been considering it, but I'm in so many freaking online classes. I can't justify another one. I just can't justify another one. Okay, Sneaky back there. Are you just coming for the end?
Yeah.
Do you have any goals this week?
No.
No. Keep working out at home since you're not going to gymnastics in the gym. I almost said the studio. It's a dance thing. It's not a studio. Watch the Moxie Life videos in the Facebook group. Sarah, that's a good one. That's a good one. What's the best online class that you're taking? The one that I do for public speaking. She's my favorite coach of all time. Actually using your power sheets. Ooh, a quilt. That's so sweet, Lisa. Actually setting goals and writing. Oh, writing your goals down makes such a difference. Such a difference. I love it. Doing your online French class. Oh, that's fun. I would love to learn French. No TV during the week. Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay. That's hard. That's definitely hard. But a good one. When we were at the coast for a while, the first week or so we were there, we actually didn't watch a ton of TV during the week because we would cook dinner kind of late and then we would go sit outside to eat dinner, and then it was so nice outside that we would sit there until it got dark at 9, and then by the time we would come in and clean up and do the dishes and stuff, it was 9:15-ish, 9:30, and I was like, we're not going to sit and watch something now, we're going to go to bed. So it worked out really well. But set alarms for time specific goals. That's a great piece of advice. I love it. So Rosetta Stone, what are you studying, Jen? What language are you learning? Preparing for remote tutoring. I love all these goals. I love how different everybody's goals are too. I think that's one of my favorite things too, is that our community here is focused on a ton of different goals. We're not just here to talk about one specific thing, and we can all still, I think, learn from each other and support each other, even though we all have different things that we're going through. So that is going to be it for this live. Before you head out, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Thanks for hanging out live, and thanks for watching the replay if you stuck around. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Oh, gotta say happy plans.